I've been in a camp and I fought Alex. I had a camp where I was preparing for Khalil, and talk about a couple of things that I saw.
Jamahal! Sweet
What's going on, Sweet Dreams Nation? So we had some news just come through the wire, so I had to come in, do a quick reaction, and give my thoughts on it. Cause I feel like I'm in the mix here, so I'm in a position to give a little talk and whatnot about these things. We just got the announcement from Dana White and on the UFC website and every major outlet that there is that Khalil taking on Alex Periera for the light heavyweight championship fight. And I wanted to come in real quick and kind of check this out with y'all and give my initial thoughts on the announcement. Initial thought is it's weird under the circumstances. Circumstances being that Khalil, one is he's ranked number 8 in the division. He's behind quite a few guys, myself included. He's coming off of tainted drug test, tainted supplement, whatever. He took a banned substance. So he's coming off of that, and coming off of that where he was set to fight me in a light heavyweight contender fight, to where now he gets to bypass that, and now it's straight to the title and straight to the title fight. To a degree, I get it. Alex is a big star. They want to keep him fighting. They want to keep him as busy as possible. And honestly, this is a good matchup for him. This is a really good matchup for him. A guy that hasn't been tested against the type of skill that's at the top of the division. Just physicality. He's like, I think Khalil's like 6. He's like 6 feet tall, 5'11" or something like that. And reach isn't. He's got long arms, but that height advantage for that. And Alex is one of the top 3 tall guys in the division, right? And Khalil's kind of on the shorter side. So there's a physicality difference there, as well as the fact of I don't think we've ever seen Khalil's ever fought 5 rounds. I don't think Khalil Rountree's ever been in a 5-round fight. So it's another huge thing that kind of rose into Alex. They want to promote Alex up, keep him busy, and keep his name ringing bells. And this is one way that I see doing it. I see this as a complete mismatch, and just a way to a money grab. It kind of look like a money grab. I want to give an initial early breakdown of what I think of the fight. I've been in a camp and I fought Alex, and I had a camp where I was preparing for Khalil, and we talk about a couple of things that I saw. He's got about a 2.5 inch reach advantage on him, as well as a 3 inches in height, which Khalil's about 6 foot tall. To be honest, if we're being 100%, Khalil's about 6 foot tall, so he's probably about 4 to 5 inches taller than Khalil. Honestly, shout out to Khalil. You gotta give him some love. We got in this business to fight for championships and fight for titles, and he's getting that opportunity. Although I don't feel that he should be even in the conversation for an opportunity like this. You can't argue with the fact that work puts you in position for things like this. He's on a 5-fight win streak. He's on so he's been doing his thing in that regard to get himself in that position, I guess, like, to a degree. But I know what some people are going to say, right? Some people are going to say, "Hey, Jamal, you were number 7 whenever you got the title shot," right? It was a little bit different. A lot of things had to fall into place in order for me to get that title shot. You had the draw between Magomed and Jan Blachowicz, which canceled those 2 out. You had the injury to Yuri. You had the injury to Rakic. You had the injury to Anthony Smith. There was nobody essentially left. So I was the one that was right on the outside of that on a winning streak myself. So there literally was nobody available. The thing about this is there's people that are available. There are guys that have been booked. Magomed Ankalaev is out there. And I've told y'all before, they do not like this dude. And I'm going to be honest, every time that we're reminded of that, I am shocked at how bad they do not like this dude. Man, they skipped over him and went to number 8. Bro, like, you got him there. You got Krylov. Krylov is on a win streak himself. He's there. Volkan Ozdemir, he's been on a win streak. They skipped over these guys, so I'm pretty sure they're open. They're free. They don't have anything booked. right? And went this route. So, it is what it is. Right out the bat, like I said, I see this as a complete mismatch and one-sided fight for Alex Periera. The styles match up perfectly for him. It's a kickboxing match. Khalil's a Muay Thai style. Alex has made his bread and butter in Muay Thai before he even got to the UFC, and now even so here. A couple things that I see working for against Khalil. Like I said, the size, the reach, the height, the experience of not having gone 5 rounds inside the UFC. And we've seen, if you've watched Khalil fight, he gets tired. He gets tired fairly early into the fight. Khalil's on a 5-fight win streak. His last fight being against Anthony Smith. He got that fight, was a third round TKO. I believe Anthony Smith came into that fight on less than 2 weeks' notice. It was a very short notice fight for Anthony Smith coming off the couch. And it is what it is. You fight who's in front of you. And he was able to get the win. Kyle Dawkins, who came down from heavyweight. Yeah, he made it first come down from heavyweight, and he ended up finishing him. Now, the Dustin Jacoby fight. Now, one thing I watched this fight while I was preparing for Khalil. And one thing that jumped out to me initially, whenever I first watched it in real time, I was kind of in and out watching it. I gave it to Khalil. I was like, okay, it was a close fight. Could have been. I went back and watched the fight after watching the fight study. Khalil lost all 3 rounds of this fight. You can go back and you can watch this fight. Khalil lost all 3 rounds of this fight. So the 5-fight win streak for me is, you got to take it with a little bit of grain of salt. Carl Roberts, the guy after that, he's no longer in the UFC. Lukowski's fight was the knee stomp. One thing that I did also notice while watching his fights, he was losing these fights. Outside of maybe the fight against Anthony, because Anthony had moments, but outside of that, he was losing these fights until he landed a shot that was able to put them away. Same thing could be said for Periera, short of the last fight against Yuri. But yeah, that's one thing that jumps out to me whenever I see this fight being made. So Alex, we already know what comes with Alex. Now, here's one thing that I will say in this fight. It's a fight. At the end of the day, it is a fight. Anything can happen in a fight. Any given fight, crazy things can happen. On any given day, number 8 can become champion. I'm going to be honest. I see a way where that actually could happen. One thing that I do see that is going for Khalil's a southpaw. All right. Alex, if you have multiple weapons and you have ways to fire off from hands and kicks and combos like that, if you actually have weapons and threats, credible threats from the southpaw stance, Alex struggles with those. He actually struggles with that. If you go back and you watch the second fight in the UFC against Izzy, more so he started to add more strikes and more threats from the southpaw stance. He added more threats from southpaw stance as opposed to the first fight. The first fight where Izzy fought Alex in, I believe it was in Madison Square Garden, he would go southpaw. And it kind of froze Alex a little bit, but he didn't really throw anything. There was no really threats, no real anything from there. That was an adjustment he made in the second fight that worked out for him. Khalil's a natural southpaw. He has weapons. He's able to. He does hit hard. He can drop bombs. If he does land, he can put you out. I think if he actually uses his southpaw stance to a degree, I think that he can't cause some problems for Alex. Here's where my thing is: Alex's physical size and stature, I don't think and the IQ, bro. I don't think the IQ is there to understand the positioning of where you need to be at to beat somebody of that size and skill. Pause, because that might have sounded crazy, but it's a wild turn of events, man. It's a wild turn of events. It's crazy. I don't know if it's ever happened before where a fighter was removed from a bout because of tainted substances or whatever, and then receive a title shot over a number of other contenders. One of which has won 9 fights without losing, and has beaten a lot of the guys that have beaten him, as well as, you know what I mean? I don't know. They just don't like you, bro. That's all I can say. They just don't like you. I'm expecting a spectacular knockout from Alex. Probably early first round, I'd say. I could see it going. I could see it possibly going longer if they get into maybe to like a gun shy situation. But I don't see that. I see this as completely a mismatch. This is a way for them to maybe pad him, get him an extra defense as a champion. Big buzz around the community is the hype of Alex moving up to heavyweight and potentially fighting a John Jones or an Aspinall, which would be a huge fight, a big payday, and things like that. So when you got things like that online, paydays and things like that online, I get, you start to see things like this. But it's a huge opportunity for Khalil. I hope he prepares. Hope he's locked in and he's ready for it. And he comes locked in, bro. Don't shift your focus for even a second. It's a dangerous opponent. Everything's stacked against you. Hey, bro, if you really a dog and you really about that shit though, it makes you excited though. These are the things that you got to be excited for. We gonna be tapped in UFC 307. I wanted to get an initial reaction out to it. That's my initial reaction. That's how I see the fight. And obviously I'm gonna give a more in-depth breakdown of it. We'll have a war council, things like that. Hopefully around that time. And Sweet Dreams Nation. That's my reaction to it, y'all.